It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Tearanie. She's in the building. She's been talking about funding your empire. That sounds interesting. What's going on, Tearanie? How are you?
Hello. How are you?
Well, I'm excited. I mean, when I saw the topic, funding your empire, I'm like a number of folks who showed up. They're like, wait a minute. How can someone really consistently build assets? But take a moment, if you will, funding your empire, just so we can all be on the same page. What does that mean? And why is it so important today more than ever before?
Well, Che, my name again is Tearanie Parker, and I am actually a financial advisor at a wealth management firm. So I understand quite well how it is very important for business owners to build and fund their empires. Funding an empire actually is a company I created outside of my financial advisory business because I kept running into business owners who needed more information as far as how to grow their assets, how to protect their income. And so it's so interesting. A lot of people, we have a wealth of information all over the internet, but some people really don't understand because they're so focused on building their baby, which is their business. They don't understand how to consistently fund their empire. And as a business owner, you have an empire. And your
Ah,
here, could be something that you just started yesterday or something that you've had in existence or has been in existence for the last 20 years. Don't despise small beginnings. If you have a business, you have an empire. And so you must consistently fund your empire despite competing emotions. And that's one of the things that I do. I help people understand a business, understand that when building your empire, you have to fight against a common enemy, your emotions. You have to fight against the fact that you may want something right now, but you may not be able to, or may not be feasible for you to focus on that right now because you do need to continue to pour your monies back into your business so that you can continue to build it and scale it the way that you want to scale it. So
and folks that are
basically,
listening, that's a spot on answer.
yes.
And it might be curious. You said fund your business. Is this funding the business through acquiring new business or new revenue, or is this ways that you can go get a loan to fund the empire? Just so we can make sure that for those folks that are leaning forward, because just to give you an idea, probably 70% of our audience that are watching, they're dualpreneurs. 30% are full-time entrepreneurs. They do this all day long. They're like, whoa, Shay, I'm ready to fund this. I'm ready to stop using my own money. So take a moment. Are you referring to getting new clients in the door or being able to leverage other funds to fund their empire?
So when it comes to funding an empire, a lot of business owners, when you say funding, they automatically assume that it's about getting more, acquiring a loan or acquiring some type of business, a loan or something of that nature, or credit cards like what we were just talking about earlier. But no, funding an empire, the way that I'm talking about it is the fact that you as a business owner, you have a business, but you need to make sure that your personal assets are being built the same time as your business assets are being built. So it's about you building your own, let's say, retirement account or building assets as far as purchasing real estate or building assets as far as getting into cryptocurrency, multiple streams of assets that you need to tap into so that you continue to consistently fund your empire. Yes, funding is very important, and a lot of business owners do not like to use their own money. But to be honest with you, that's where you probably will have to start, is using your own money. But in using your own money, as you begin to build your business, your income, your revenue begins to grow. Instead of taking that revenue and just wilding out, you can take that revenue and actually pour it into other assets that will leverage you. So you can actually purchase a real estate property. You can purchase other a commercial building or what have you, to leverage that so that you won't have to always use your own personal money in your savings account, but you have other assets that you can tap into, like, for instance, life insurance. A lot of people, business owners, don't realize that life insurance, if you build it a certain way and it's a certain type of life insurance, you can actually build an accumulation component in that life insurance. A cash value is building that you can tap into for anything tax free, that will help you build your business. Business owners use it all the time. I'm gonna give you an example, an old one. J.C. Penney, he's dead. He's long dead and gone. God bless his soul. But when he was actually building his empire, the way that he funded his empire was that he used the cash value in his life insurance policy to pay his employees' salary because he didn't have it at the time. Walt Disney is another one that used his, not only his assets from stocks, well, his, the monies that he received from, his stock portfolio, but also from his life insurance and also from real estate. So do you see what I mean by consistently funding your empire so you don't have to rely on your savings? You can actually use other assets.
I love it. And for those folks, and that was a great example, by the way. For those folks that are meeting you for the very first time, I know you're famous, and a lot of folks know you in different circles, but some folks might be meeting you for the first time and said, Shay, I didn't get a chance to read her bio, Shay. I didn't get a chance to go out and visit her website. She gave us a little sneak preview earlier, but let's step back if you can and have her talk about, number one, who is she? That'd be pretty cool because I like what she's saying. But number two, what's her backstory that led to that defining moment for her to raise her hand and say, you know what, I'm going to be the champion helping people fund their own empire?
Well, as I stated before, my name is Tearanie Parker, and I am a behavioral. So let me clarify that I'm a behavior financial advisor, which basically means that I help you in regards to the traditional way of building, or business owners building their assets. But I also help business owners with their mindset, because mindset is very important when it comes to consistently funding your empire. And how that came about is about 12 years ago. I was actually trying to become a principal of a school. I was going on my second degree, master's degree, and I thought that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to, become a principal. I have a master's in education. Why not? I come from a whole, line of family members that were deans and principals and teachers and such. So I thought that was my calling. Well, it was not. And so what happened was the Lord just kind of arrested me. He arrested me and said, no, I don't want you to go in that arena. I do want you to teach, but I want you to teach in the financial arena. So I went and got my security licenses, and I actually uh, went to a broker dealer. I was hired at a broker dealer and started learning about investments, portfolios and stocks, mutual funds, what have you, the whole nine yards. And what caused me to actually focus on business owners and creating funding and empires, that I was running into business owners who, they didn't know how to retain employees. They didn't know how to put in benefits, and they didn't know how to start their own retirement accounts. They were focusing on the day-to-day operations of their business, but they were not building personally their own finances. And so I saw the problem and decided to create a solution, and that I started doing seminars for business owners and talking to them one on one, some of them, about how to consistently fund your empire, not in you just going out and getting a loan, but you actually building assets so that you won't ever have to go out and borrow from someone else. You can create your own bank, your own funding where you can pull from and use that to expand your business.
I love it, by the way. I love the transparency. I love the openness. And I'm glad you're not at some school teaching. I'm glad you're teaching us how to handle how money, by the way. Let's talk to two audiences. Maybe you can give, maybe it's the same thing, give the 1, 2, 3 things they can do. So for those folks out there, you can lean in that are watching now. The first audience might be asking, okay, I'm doing well. Let's just say, what does well mean these days? Let's say they got 6 to 12 months money in the bank. So they're financially, I'll say, secure for the next 12 months if something happened. But they're at the point now where they're reaching a little bit of independence. And they want to know, okay, how should I best utilize my money, right? Put money in 401k. You talk about the insurance, there's homes. What's 1, 2, or 3 things? And it's so broad, ladies and gentlemen, but what's 1, 2, or 3 things you would say to that person that has money secure? Okay, so they're going to be okay in the next 6 to 12 months. It's in the bank. What would you recommend some things they need to look at? I'll say it like that. And then we'll get to the second group of folks who they don't even got 6 months in the bank. They don't have 2 months, 3 months in the bank. And they're like, hey, where should I start?
Well, we've all been there. We've all been there.
I've been there. You and I talked before this conversation. I filed bankruptcy. I've been so broke I couldn't even go to the beach, and the beaches are free. Okay. So
Oh my
I get it.
goodness.
I get it. I've been there. But let's now first talk to the person that's they're secure. They're like, Shay, she's here. I'm curious about 1 or 2 things you'd recommend that someone like I need to do.
So you're that type of person that they have a 7 to a year worth of savings already saved up, and they're at the cusp of actually catapulting to another level by the decisions they're about to make. So that type of person, what I would say to them is that you need a financial plan. You need to actually sit with someone that will write out your vision, your financial vision, and make it plain. So that, like Habakkuk talks about writing the vision and making it plain, it's the same way with your finances. You're not winging it. You now need something that you can go by so that when you say to yourself, I want to have at least 5 to 10 million by the time I reach a certain age. You need a plan to get you there. We're not just winging it. So a financial plan is the first step. When you actually sit down and do that financial plan with that financial advisor, then inside the plan, there are strategies that will be advised and implemented. There will also be financial goals and such that you need to focus on so that when you say you want to have a certain amount of assets at this amount of time, then that plan will get you there by the strategies. And some of those strategies could be you need a retirement plan. A lot of business owners, they don't have a retirement plan for themselves because if you are an entrepreneur, you don't have an HR department that's saying to you, you need to put your monies in this retirement plan for, with this type of asset allocation and such. So a retirement plan, whether you want to retire or not, and I'm going to say that again, whether you want to retire or not, you need to have a retirement plan because that retirement plan can turn into a financial independence. Just you utilizing it early so that you can live the life that you want to live. So that would be the first key, the financial planning. And then when you do the financial planning, what are the financial goals? What are your objectives that you want to focus on so that you can build? Retirement planning is one. Another one is actually getting into other types of assets. So we need to build your liquidity. We need to build and put your money to work for you so that you can get into other type of financial vehicles that you can tap into and then actually build at another level. So you're someone on that level. This is a time for you to really make the right financial decisions, because every financial decision that you make is either leading you towards lack or increase. So you need a plan, you need accountability. That's another thing. I know a lot of business owners, they want to do things on their own, but when it comes to building wealth, you need accountability. So you need someone that's going to be there and say, "Hey, we've set these goals. We need to stick to them." Because sometimes procrastination gets us. I hate to
Yeah.
say it, it just happens, okay? It just happens. And sometimes we may think we need to go this way, but in hindsight 2020, we may need to go another way. And so being with someone that can actually have another set of eyes to see where you are and help you get to the next level is the way to go. So I would say financial planning that encompasses retirement planning, financial goal setting, that encompasses strategies that will
Mhm.
help you get to the next level, however that may look for you, because every individual is different.
Every individual
Every
is different.
One size does not fit all. But the key thing with building, though, is diversification.
Mhm.
So when you're at that level, when you're at the level you're talking about, diversification is the key. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket. You must diversify. So you need someone to help you to diversify in the right places so that you can grow the way you want to grow.
I love it. And if we can give an idea, and that was spot on, by the way, very detailed. Thanks for sharing, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, she's sharing the best ideas. You can take one idea and it could shift and change your life. But we also want to talk to the person, and like I said, I've been there more than one time in my life, that you're like, okay, is this conversation for me? Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
Maybe you're building that first month up or that first 6 months, and you're just putting money away for in case of an emergency. Take a moment. What's one or two things that that person could do now to get on track?
Hmm. So the one key thing that I found with business owners or even career professionals is debt. Debt will stifle an individual from moving to the next level financially. And so, one of the things that I always talk to business owners or career professionals is that if you're in a position where you're just trying to build, you're trying to get to the next step, analyze your debt. There's two things that can help you build at this point. You need to remove as much debt as you can, and sometimes that means putting a debt reduction program in place and sticking to that debt reduction program. And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, I mean, it may take sometimes 3 years, sometimes longer. It doesn't matter. If you are an entrepreneur and you know you want to be at a certain place, you can't not allow debt to take you out or stifle you. And another thing is bringing in more income. So as you are removing debt, you're trying to find as that entrepreneur that is you're just beginning. How can I diversify my revenue streams now? How can I create additional revenue streams so that I can bring in more money? So I'm not just selling this product, but now I'm also an author, and I'm promoting my books as well, and I'm also, out there, having my brand on T-shirts and other types of products. You need to diversify your revenue stream so that you can bring more money in, so that you'll go from an emergency fund to a savings. So you need two types of savings. You need an emergency fund, and then you need a savings for financial opportunities.
Mm.
Saving for financial opportunities is different than an emergency fund. So you have to, people always get hooked on that emergency fund and that's it. No, there's two types of savings as a business owner that you should always have: one for emergencies, one for financial opportunities, because they will come. What if someone comes to you and say, "Hey, I want you to join forces with me and buy into this business," but you don't have the funds to do it, and this is a great opportunity, then you're going to miss a very optimal opportunity for you to get to the next level. That's why you have to start saving for financial opportunities. The only way that you can do that, a debt has to be at a minimum. Business owners cannot eliminate all debt. You're going to have debt because some debt for business owners is good debt. A house is a good debt. So you're going to have debt. I'm talking about that unnecessary debt that is weighing you down. And building your revenue streams is so key as well.
I love it. Spot on, by the way, and really good advice. And what I take away from that is get started. You know, my mentor always says, when's the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago. But Shay, when's the next best time? And I'm always like, well, now. So the good news is you can win in poker with any hand. You can start wherever you are. It leads to a really good segment that we have here called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who wait till every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can't wait to say these magical words. You can go ahead and say these words. Today is my January 1st. And for all the new folks who are watching for the very first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show family. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra, by the way. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or for some of us, how bright and sunny that past is, the past no longer equals the future. And so my question for Tearanie on the other side is really two parts. Number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? What do you hear? And number two, when was a moment in your life where there was some setback? Maybe her life's been perfect, ladies and gentlemen. We'll find out. And how did you bounce back from it?
Well, my January 1st is every quarter.
Makes sense for a
Every
planner.
quarter is January 1st for me because the goals that I set in the first quarter, if I didn't meet them, January 1st is coming the second quarter. And so I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I meet not only the first quarter goals, but even the second quarter goals, because we can do it. We can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. So don't think that you can't. So to me, when I hear January 1st, that's every quarter I can start over. Listen, every day for some people you can start over. Every day you get up in the morning, it's new beginnings. So if you go to bed the night before, and I've had the pleasure of being in the presence of business owners who have gone through some rough things. I have gone through some rough things, and new mercies is renewed every morning. And that's one of the things that I kept telling myself. And that's one of the things I see the business owners that I've met that they do. Every morning they wake up saying, today is a new day. Whatever happened in the past is in the past. I didn't make it. I didn't do this. I didn't meet this. This person betrayed me. This person did not do what I thought they were going to do, but I'm going to forgive and I'm going to keep going because I have a purpose that must be fulfilled. Someone is waiting on my dream to come to full fruition. So I need to make sure that when things come at me, I keep that in my mind. And so one of the things that about me that I can really say is that I was a queen of financial setbacks. I was the queen of spending. Okay. I had an issue. And a part of that was the fact that I was raised in a single family home. My mother, God bless her heart. I'm not blaming my mother, but she taught me indirectly how to live paycheck to paycheck. I didn't realize that living paycheck to paycheck is a form of poverty. And even though she didn't mean to pass that on to me and my siblings, that's what she did. She passed it on because that's what we saw. We saw the fact that when she needed money, she went to my Aunt Harriet and my grandmother Irene. They were her savings account. She didn't have a savings account. So here I am. Now I'm grown. I'm in the Navy. I have my own money. I'm in the world. I'm doing my own thing. Didn't have a clue about managing money. Didn't have a clue about the cost of debt. Didn't have a clue about anything in regards to financial literacy. And I'm just out there winging it. And it just was a blessing that I met my husband who had a different upbringing than I did. So even though, so in my upbringing, I wasn't taught financial literacy in my home. Well, his upbringing was different. He was raised by his pastor and his pastor's wife, and they did teach him about saving, not spending every dime you had. They did teach him about the importance of building assets, of not just having that mindset of I'm just going to be at the same level the rest of my life. No, you can build, and so what happened was, to be honest with you, to be transparent, a saver married a spender. And World War III was happening in my home every day. That's why I'm telling you, new mercies are renewed. Everywhere. Because I in those times of arguing things out, I see money in the bank and I'm thinking this is money to spend. He see money in the bank and he's thinking I need to multiply this. We were on two different wavelengths, not knowing that one day I was going to become a financial advisor. He was very instrumental in helping me understand that you're not defined by your past. You don't have to accept the cards you have been dealt. You can change your financial destiny. Every morning you can wake up renewed and say this is a new day, or every quarter and say this is a new quarter. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Wow. Now is the time. Shout out to you and your husband. The people are nosy, by the way. They're looking behind and says, "Who's those? Is those are kids behind her?" They're looking over your left hand shoulder. By the way, they see pictures
These are
behind you.
Yes, I have. So I'm in my office in my home. And so behind me over here are my nephews. They're my precious nephews that I absolutely adore. My husband is behind me over here, as you can see with my son. My son was a
Yeah.
little boy at that time. My son is actually 27 and in the Navy. So I am the mother of four adult children. My youngest one is 25. And I've been married to my husband for 30 years. And we've had a lot of financial wars in this house. And well, that was in my last house because I have another house now, but that's another story. But anyway, we had a lot of financial battles because of the fact that we were just raised in two different ways. And so I think that one of the things that I always tell business owners is that you have to be careful who you marry. Because that person can make or break you. Be very careful, not only who you marry, but be careful who you associate with and who you allow in your circle, because those people can also influence you in ways that can make or break you as well.
Well said, by the way. Shout out to your husband and you. I mean, 30 years. You can't just drop that on us like it's no big deal. She said, and I'm still standing. I'm still the boss. I'm still the queen up in this house. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Still. I love that, by the way. So, as we
Yeah.
come down the home stretch, really a two-part question there. Number one, what do you do for fun? Like when you're not out saving the world, helping people fund their empire. I mean, what do you do for fun these days?
You know what? You're gonna be shocked when I tell you what I do for fun. I read. That is one of the highlights of my time. My life is reading. I love reading, 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 reading.
What kind of what kind of books do you enjoy reading? What type of topics do you enjoy reading?
So I read the Bible a lot because I need deliverance.
You're not
I
alone. You're not alone.
Yes, I read the Bible. I read other books from authors that talk about, building your spiritual life, making
Wow,
sure
that's
that
cool.
you're intimate with God. But I also read a lot of books on how to build wealth. I read a lot of books on how people who have done it in the past, how they have extended wealth from one generation to another. One of my favorite books is What Would the Rockefellers Do? And it's about Lee Rockefeller, who, if everyone who's in America, even if whether you're black, white, or green, should know something about this man because he was one of the pioneers that created or built America's wealth in the 1920s with oil, Standard Oil. And so one of the things that he did was he had a big thing with keeping the wealth in the family. So he didn't believe in distributing wealth to each individual family member. He believed in keeping it all in one segmented section like a trust and allowing the family members to pull from that trust. And so he extended wealth to what, almost what, 5 generations or more, because no, it's about 5 generations, because of the fact that he utilized life insurance policies. He created a trust way back when and a board over that trust. And that board, of course, it's comprised of different people because, of course, those people are dead and gone, but it's still in existence to this day. And what they would do was every child that was born, they put a life insurance policy on that child. And when the child got of age, if the child needed money for a business, wanted to go to school, or wanted to do anything in regards to, and they needed money in regards to their future, they went before a board that was over the trust and they presented to that board how much they need and what they needed it for, and they were given those monies. To this day, that is still in existence, and they are one of the wealthiest families. So I've learned by reading that book that you can extend wealth way past 2 to 3 generations, but it's a way that you can do it. And so I'm learning, and I like other books on how to build wealth, what other people have done as far as the stock market and such. I love Warren Buffett. I love reading things about him all the time because he didn't actually start building wealth the way that he's built it now until his 50s. And since I'm in my 50s, that's a
Looking
that's
good, looking good, by the way.
that's
I'm in the
giving me
50s, looking good, looking good.
giving me so much joy that hey, he did it. Okay.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And as we come down the home stretch, two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days, if any? And number two, how can folks connect with you if they want to be in a conversation over and beyond the time that you and I have right now? What's the best way for them to reach you?
So it's interesting that earlier in the show, you asked me about, well, you spoke about a type of entrepreneur that they have monies, but they're trying to get to the next level. They have that 7 to 8 or 7 to 1 year emergency fund already saved up, but they just don't know what to do. Those are the type of clients that I'm looking for. Those are the type of clients that I love working with. Now, do I work with other entrepreneurs who are not there yet? Absolutely, but that's under the Funding and Empire umbrella, where I actually teach them to get to that level. I help them understand what is required because you have to have a mindset to get to that level. But I don't just leave them out there because of the fact that a lot of, to be honest with you, many of them have become the client that I'm talking about. They started at, don't despise small beginnings because you never know. And they are now at another level. So that's the type of individuals or business owners that I'm looking for. And then also, you can reach me. I am now doing TikToks, so you can go and look at
All
me on
right.
TikTok. Yeah, Tearanie Parker. Just go to TikTok and type in Tearanie Parker, and you'll find me. On Facebook, I'm under Funding and Empire. You can also go to Instagram as well. It's Tearanie Parker under Instagram. But if you would like to send me an email, you can send me an email at Funding and Empire, Funding AN Empire at gmail.com.
I love it. Let me say two things. Number one, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate it.
Thank you
Got to
for
have you back again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a wonderful time.
And thank you, thank you, thank you to viewers. Thank you for allowing us to be, by the way, in your home. By the way, some of you might be on your iPad right now. Some of you, we may be on your phone. You're watching us right now on your phone. There's other folks, by the way. Maybe we're on the TV screen. That'd be pretty cool, by the way. But thanks for having us in there. We appreciate it. We know without you, there is no show. And I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that you, as you're watching right now, you're really amazing. You're really incredible. There's a special thing inside of you. I know it sounds hokey dokey and fluffy and like hyperbole, but it's not. That now really is your time. And I believe no matter what's going on in your life, whether you're doing really, really well and you're going to that next level she talked about, or life's hit you with the punch you never saw coming. One thing I know for sure is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name hadn't changed. Still Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. We out of here. Thanks a lot, by the way. We appreciate it. See you later, Tearanie. Peace, everybody.